In today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly what I work on to develop my saxophone sound. And just to show you that it's not all about having fancy equipment, I'm going to be playing my Jean Paul AS400 Student Alto Sax with this inexpensive mouthpiece upgrade that they offer. We're also going to be giving away a brand new one of these, so stay tuned for more info on how to enter to win the contest. Hey, Metcalf here. There has been an enormous increase in saxophone practicing worldwide in the last few weeks. And while I'm glad so many of you are spending more time with your instrument or getting it out of the closet for the first time in years, or even ordering your first saxophone online, I wish it didn't take a global pandemic for that to happen. In this lesson, you're going to learn some very helpful ways to strengthen your embouchure and improve your saxophone sound, something that may be welcomed by your neighbors and those in quarantine with you. So if you like saxophone lesson videos like this one and saxophone giveaways, be sure to drop me one of these right now, get yourself subscribed to the channel, and I'll keep making more. If you haven't already gone through my beginner/refresher course, that's the best place to start, and I recommend you watch those videos as well, and I've linked to them in the description below. Sound is the most important element of your saxophone playing, and if you want to sound good, ideally, you need to be playing the saxophone just about every day. The quality of our sound is heavily dependent on the strength of the muscles in our face that form the embouchure. Now, normally those muscles are used for making facial expressions that aren't all that strenuous, but once we start playing the saxophone, it becomes a real workout. Like any other muscle group, we need to exercise them regularly to keep them in shape. So just playing the saxophone every day is going to do a tremendous amount for your sound. The next really easy thing you can do to improve your sound more than anything is just to listen to really good saxophone players all the time. If you don't have a beautiful saxophone sound in your mind's ear, then it's going to be nearly impossible for you to recreate a beautiful sound on the instrument. You can't learn to speak a language without hearing it spoken, and the same thing applies to music. I recommend spending at least as much time listening to great saxophone players as you do practicing, but ideally you want to spend more time listening than playing. Who you listen to is up to you and your personal tastes. But to help get the ball rolling, I'd like to invite everyone to comment below some of their favorite saxophone players to listen to. This way we all get some fresh ideas. Now let's get down to specific exercises to help you improve your sound. Here's what I'm working on these days to improve my sound. My routine does change and evolve over time depending on which areas I want to focus my attention on. Not being able to practice for as long as I would like to due to time constraints, I limit the amount of time I spend in each area. It's a good idea because if you spend too much time doing one thing, you could get bored and it's going to stagnate your growth. So I spend about 10 minutes just working and focusing on sound at the beginning of each practice session. It's the sort of thing that if you spend 10 focused minutes every day on your sound over the course of years, you'll make some real progress. Of course, you guessed it, I start with long tones. Now, I see people commenting all the time and asking about alternatives to long tones because they're really boring. Well, I understand it can be boring to practice long tones, and that's why I only spend 5 minutes a day on them. And I'm going to show you how to get the most out of those 5 minutes. Again, it's about being consistent over a long period of time. If you just spend 5 minutes practicing long tones once, that's like doing one set of push-ups. You're not going to really get anywhere. First, I get my phone out and I open my favorite tuner app, which is called Tonal Energy. Then I put in my wireless earbuds. Now, these serve two purposes. Number one, they allow me to hear everything that's going on in the apps that I use to practice with, but more importantly, they protect my hearing. Playing the saxophone at full volume for long periods of time every day is going to damage your hearing. There's no question. If you're not using some form of ear protection, you should start. Here, I'm just using these AirPods and they've got these rubber attachments to them. This helps increase the isolation and the bass response. Now, the more isolating your earbuds are, the less you're going to hear your own saxophone sound, but the more protection they're going to give you. While I'm working on my long tones, I'm also working on my intonation at the same time, and here's how. I can set this tuner app to play the same note that I'm playing on the saxophone, and then I'm going to hear it in the earbuds, and I just have to press this button right here. So now when I play a long tone in my earbuds, I hear that note perfectly in tune and then can match my intonation to that sound. This is much better than trying to rely on the visual reference on the screen, whether that's a needle or some smiley face or something, because when you're flat or sharp, the tendency is always going to be to overcompensate, and you're just kind of jumping around the pitch rather than centering in on it. Also, in real life, you can't sit there and make adjustments according to what you're seeing on the tuner. You got to use your ears to play in tune, and it's all about matching the pitch of your instrument to the other instruments you're playing with. Spend 5 minutes a day working on this, and in a week, you're going to notice a big difference. In a month, your sound's going to be better than ever. And after a year, you won't even recognize yourself. I like to start in the middle of the horn since those notes are easy, and then I carry that easy, relaxed feeling to all the notes chromatically down until I get to the bottom, low B flat. I also use a breath attack because I don't want any articulation to get in the way of how I'm using my air. Take a deep breath and use all of your air for each note. If you've got a really large lung capacity, this might extend the amount of time it takes you to go through the whole exercise. While playing your long tones, be sure to keep all of your fingertips resting lightly on the key pearls and release any tension in your hands, your wrists, your shoulders, and your neck. Stand in front of a mirror so you can check your posture. At first, this exercise is going to be mainly about building up strength, but as you get stronger, you're going to be able to concentrate more and more on the quality of the sound. The free vibration of the reed is the most important goal here. It's all about finding the balance between controlling the sound and allowing that reed to vibrate freely. The most common culprits for a bad saxophone sound come down to too much pressure on the reed, so you always want to strive to be able to stay loose. This becomes more and more difficult as our muscles get fatigued. What happens is the corners of our mouth pull back as we get tired, stretching out and thinning out our bottom lip cushion, and this will result in a thin sound or a pinched and shrill sound. Like with physical exercise, form is important. Don't let your form suffer. Take breaks when you need them. Keep that bottom lip bunched up and cushiony for your reed to vibrate on. Think of the most luxurious and high-tech memory foam mattress. You want your lower lip to be extremely comfortable and soft, yet at the same time provide necessary support. Once I get down to low B flat, I go back to middle C and then play long tones on every note chromatically up through the Altissimo range. If you want to learn more about how to play in the Altissimo range, I've made 2 other videos here on YouTube about that. And if you click the link in the description below for the BetterSax Shed, you can find those lessons as well as some downloadable PDFs with fingerings and other things to work on. I created my Core Essentials course to guide saxophone students through a series of exercises to improve tone and technique. Check the link in the description below. This week it's on sale, 40% off. Now here's another tip that's really gonna help accelerate your muscle development, but it's kind of hard. While playing these long tones, instead of breaking my embouchure and inhaling through my mouth, I keep my embouchure set and inhale through my nose. This is the equivalent of embouchure planking. And believe me, as you get up into the higher notes, you might collapse. It is a great workout that can deliver some amazing results though. Try it and let me know in the comments how it goes. Once I finish with my long tones over the full range of the instrument, I take the mouthpiece off and I practice with just the mouthpiece for a minute or so. I'll show you how I do that in a separate video if anyone's interested. After that, I move on to overtones. Now, I've made another video about overtones, so go check that video out if you want to know how I practice my overtones. Now, as you can hear, once you've developed your embouchure and your sound, you can sound good on just about any instrument and halfway decent mouthpiece. It is a very common misconception that you need to spend a tremendous amount of money to sound good. That's just not the case. I'm going to sound almost identical on this Jean Paul alto saxophone as I do on my professional Yanagisawa. I've already made several videos demonstrating this, so go check those out if you want to hear what I mean. Now the moment you've all been waiting for, to enter the giveaway contest for a chance to win a brand new Jean Paul AS400 alto saxophone. Click the link in the description below. It's entirely free to enter. All you need is an email address. You can get bonus entries by visiting BetterSax on Instagram, on Facebook, here on YouTube. While you're there, make sure you subscribe if you aren't already, like some content, leave some comments. I love hearing from everybody. Thank you for watching. Good luck in the contest. Stay safe and healthy out there. See you in the next video.